There's just something about the smell of a barbecue that screams summer, right? It's way more than just a meal, it's a whole tradition. So today we're going to break down what makes that classic family barbecue so special. Everything from the food on the grill to that awesome feeling of community it creates. Let's jump right in.
Go ahead, just picture it for a second. The sun's warm on your skin, you could hear some music playing, people are laughing, and you're just hanging out, surrounded by your friends and family. That is the feeling we're diving into today, that perfect vibe of a summer get-together.
So, let's get into it. What is it that makes a barbecue so special? Well, when you boil it all down, it's really just a social get-together, outdoors, where the main event is food cooked on a grill. It's super casual, it's fun, and it's all about just sharing a good time with people you like.
The word barbecue is actually kind of funny because it does double duty. It's the name of the party, right? Like, hey, we're having a barbecue. But it's also what you're doing to the food. You literally barbecue the food at the barbecue. It all just comes down to that awesome smoky flavor you get from cooking over an open flame.
Okay, let's talk about the best part, the food. That's what we're all here for, right? But here's the thing, a truly great barbecue doesn't just happen at the grill. Nope, it all starts way before anyone even shows up, right there in the kitchen.
So, for a lot of people, the absolute stars of the show are the steaks and the chicken. But the real secret to getting that incredible, juicy, mouth-watering flavor, it's not about what you do at the grill. It's about what you did hours before, back in the kitchen.
And that secret weapon? It's all about the marinade. Seriously, it's just a simple process of soaking the meat in a mix of spices, herbs, and maybe some liquids like lemon juice or even yogurt. And this does two amazing things. One, it just crams all this incredible flavor into the meat. And two, it makes it super, super tender.
But come on, you can't have a classic American barbecue without these two icons, right? Hamburgers and hot dogs. They're essential. They're easy to cook, they're easy to eat, and pretty much everybody loves them. They are an absolute must-have.
And really, what's a hamburger without the bun? It's one of those things you don't think about, but it's basically perfectly designed for its job. It's got to be soft enough to bite into, but also strong enough to hold that big, juicy patty and all the toppings you're going to pile on. It really is the perfect delivery system for the main event.
Okay, here's a quick pro tip. If someone asks you to bring a couple dozen hot dogs, what are they actually asking for? Well, a dozen is 12, right? So a couple dozen usually means about 24. And trust me, it's always better to have a few too many than to be the person who let the hot dogs run out.
Another awesome option you see a lot, kebabs. And these are fantastic because you get your meat and your veggies all in one convenient, colorful stick. You just thread pieces of whatever you want, chicken, peppers, onions, onto a thin stick, which is called a skewer, and throw them on the grill. They look amazing and they're just really fun to eat.
All right, so the food is prepped and ready to go. Now it's time to set the scene. Because creating a really comfortable, welcoming outdoor space, that's just as important as the food for making it a perfect barbecue. And you don't need much, really. Just a few key things can totally transform any backyard. You'll want some lawn furniture so people have a place to sit and relax. Maybe a tent for a little bit of shade, which is always a good idea. And of course, the grill. That's your outdoor kitchen. Oh, and you absolutely cannot forget the coolers. Keeping those drinks ice cold on a hot day is non-negotiable. So, when we say lawn furniture, what's the difference between that and, say, your living room couch? It all comes down to one thing: durability. Outdoor furniture is built tough. It's made from stuff like plastic, metal, or even stone, things that can handle getting rained on or baked in the sun without falling apart. And a cooler, man, what a simple but absolutely brilliant invention. Just think of it like a portable fridge that doesn't need to be plugged in. You just fill this plastic box up with ice, and boom, it keeps all your drinks, salads, whatever, perfectly cold for hours, no matter how hot it gets outside. It's a lifesaver. Okay, so we've covered the what and the how of a barbecue. But this brings us to a much bigger question, right? Why? Why does the simple act of eating a meal outdoors with people we care about feel so special? What's really going on here besides just, eating?
The answer is it's because a barbecue, or really any shared meal, is about so much more than just the food. It's about connection, it's about tradition, it's even about our identity. Food is like this universal language that everybody everywhere understands. And this idea is totally universal. Think about it. All over the world, food is wrapped up in cultural identity. When you think of Italy, you think of pizza and spaghetti. You think of Japan, you think of sushi. Mexico, tacos. And in that same way, the barbecue has become the signature piece of the American story. It's a meal that's all about community and celebration.
And you know what's wild? The foods we connect with these traditions, they're always changing. Here's a little fun fact for you. Carrots, they were originally purple. Yeah, no joke. The orange carrot that we all know and love was actually developed by Dutch farmers back in the 17th century. It's just a great reminder that even our oldest traditions have a pretty cool history.
Now, since sharing a meal is so social, what do you think everyone ends up talking about? The food, of course. So let's go over a few super easy ways you can talk about food, whether you're at a barbecue or just grabbing a bite with a friend. It's actually a really simple 3-step thing to have a great conversation about food. First, just say what you like. My favorite food is sushi. Easy. Then maybe add a little detail about why you like it. It tastes sweet and creamy. But here's the most important part. Ask a question back. What do you usually eat for breakfast? That one simple step is what turns just eating into a real connection.
And that brings us right back to where we started, with the barbecue. The main takeaway here is that food is so much more than just fuel for our bodies. It's a tool we use to connect with each other. It's a way to experience other cultures. It's a shared experience that brings people together. And that is the real magic of firing up the grill.
So, I want to leave you with one final thought. Just take a second and think about this. What's a meal that's tied to one of your favorite memories? Maybe it was a big holiday dinner or a birthday cake from when you were a kid. Or maybe, just maybe, it was a perfect summer barbecue.